Hello there, you beautiful soul. Welcome back to another Culture Talk segment with your host and founder, Rebecca Munoz of Cultured Society. I am here with another special guest to talk about life philosophies and experiences. If you have not joined us on these conversations as of yet, we started these conversations back in February because I believe that it's so important, especially during this time where we're living in a society now where there's a lot of division, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of just resistance in the way that we relate to people. And I'm here to show you and express to you that we are all a part of one body in Christ. I'd like to say we are all the same. We are all made up of very similar components, yet we have a very specific DNA code for our own life journey and purpose here on this planet. And so throughout maybe the last 25 years of my life, I have gone and explored the world, and I have had the opportunity to meet so many amazing people that are making waves on this planet. And so I have brought together a panel of guests that are very diverse, spread out through different parts of the nation and the world, here to share their own personal experiences and life philosophies with our audience. So thank you to every person who's going to join us on these conversations. My prayer is that you gain some inspiration, some motivation, and even your own personal desire to fulfill your own purpose and destiny while we are here on this planet. So today, my special guest is Darrell Ross-Brown, who is coming to us from Austin, Texas. Now, Darrell is a sales consultant for a home builder in Austin. He started this opportunity selling homes 3 years ago and was flat broke when he started. He's just an average guy that came from poverty level income to top 5% of earners in America in only 3 years. He has learned quite a few lessons along the way, and lessons that were never taught growing up. And he just wants to be able to share them with the world today. Darrell's mission is to let people know that you don't have to be an athlete or an entertainer to be successful. And the only thing that is stopping you from being successful is yourself. So again, thank you so much, Darrell, for joining me on this conversation. It's such an honor to have you as a guest today.
I'm feeling the love. El Munoz, talk to me.
Darrell has become, I believe we've known each other for like a year and a half now, Darrell, is that right?
110%. It's been a beautiful experience for sure.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So again, if you have not had the opportunity to join us on these conversations, please take the time to tune in to the Cultured Society YouTube as well as the aculturedsociety.com blog. You will find the Cultured Society collective conversations where there is a variety of conversations here. And what's interesting is that all the questions are exactly the same, yet every conversation has been so unique and a very fun conversation to have, because again, although we are made up of very similar components, we are all having very different experiences in our life day in and day out. So it's really cool to be able to have these ask the same questions and learn so much from each individual person. I am definitely having a great time being a part of these conversations, facilitating them. And I'm learning a great deal as I continue to grow in my journey, as well as continue to develop and evolve my brand, Cultured Society. So starting off with the very first question, Darrell, what is your life's philosophy?
Before I get into that, I appreciate you, El Munoz, for letting me on. The red shirt is looking lovely. The background, I mean, it's beautiful. So I appreciate that. My philosophy just through life is one of the main things is understanding the difference between wanting something and expectations. And what I mean by that is I was talking to a family member, I think about 3 or 4 months ago, and they were doing bad, but they were looking to do better things in life. And he was telling me about all these things he wanted to do, and he had all of these dreams and all of these goals. And I just asked him, like, hey, like, do you expect those things to happen based on the fact that you don't work hard, based on the fact that you're lazy, based on the fact that you always quit when times get hard? Do you expect great things to happen? And and when you expect those things to happen, it's different. Just like if you want to be in shape, you can want to be in shape, but you expect to be in shape when you eat good and work out. So it's just expecting greatness and living by that, because expectations is based on what you go out there and do every day. And another thing that I kind of pride myself on is 4 things. I make it very simple. Well, it's 3. One is belief. You can do something and work hard at it, but if you don't believe, it really don't matter. 85% of Americans wake up every day and do something that they don't like. So 85% of Americans wake up and do something that they don't believe in. And that's why 63% of Americans will die broke, because you don't believe in what you're doing. The second one is there's no excuses. With everything that we have going on in this new community and what we have as far as technology and everything that's in front of us, there's no excuses or reasons why you shouldn't hit your goal. And the last one is don't nobody owe you shit. And the people that you're waiting on to manifest your goals, your dreams, whether it's the politicians, the president, whoever you wait, they're not coming. Only person that's going to make your dreams happen is you. But if you don't believe and if you have all of these excuses, it's never going to happen. So I pride myself on living like that and living with no excuses and no regrets, and waking up every day doing what makes me happy and being able to help the people, my family members, and help, people in need. And the reason I'm able to help them is because I believe in my goals and my dreams have provided a life that can help them. But there's a lot of people that wake up every day and don't do what they want, because it's either 2 things you're going to do in life. It's either you're going to wake up every day and live your dream, or you're going to wake up every day and live your nightmare. But the dream is harder. So for me, and what I want to tell people today is follow your dream, but make sure it's something that you love, because if you don't do something that you love, you're going to do it. But once it gets hard, you're going to quit because you don't love it. But what's going to power you through your goals and your dreams is that love, because the love is going to get you through the hard times. It's going to get you through the times you want to quit because you believe in it and you love it. And that's my philosophy, is to wake up and do what you love and do whatever it takes to get to what you love. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters.
So true. So many nuggets of wisdom in that statement. And I would agree with you, Darrell, that oftentimes we want things to happen so bad, yet we're not taking the necessary steps every single day to make those dreams happen. And they don't happen overnight. Your success story seems to be very quick, but going into the next question, how has that philosophy evolved over the years for you? Because you mentioned in your bio that, just 3 years ago, you were flat broke when you came into this new dream that you were working on. And you're now how old, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 34 young. Yes, Lord. Lord, yes.
So tell us how that philosophy evolved over the years, and what happened to you that really made you change your perspective on how you live today?
I'm glad you said that. I wouldn't necessarily say it was quick, because there were roads to get there. And how I hit poverty level is that I was running a business. And when I started running the business, it was making money. But towards the end, it hit bankrupt. And I think I was surviving on $200 to $300 a week. So, and when I say surviving, like, I barely had enough money to eat. When you figure a car payment and just cost of living. And I remember being at that stage at rock bottom and feeling like the world was caving in on me. And I remember, like, because I was running a business, I had a group of people, and I used to get up in front of them. I used to do impacts like every day. So get up there, because I had a sales team, get up there, say something motivational, because when you're running a business, you can't come in like, hey, you know what, my life sucks. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to quit. So it's like, you got to fake it till you make it, right? So I give this speech, probably my best impact, right? I come outside, right? With my friend, like, hey, you know what, guys, we're going to dominate. We're going to take over the world, right? I get outside and I'm like, I walk to my normal car place where I park. I'm like, hey, my car's not here, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I parked in the back, right? So I go to the back. I'm like, damn, where's my car, right? And then I'm like, oh shit, somebody stole my car. And then like my friend next to me was like, nobody's going to steal a 2005 Ford Fusion, right? So my car got repoed at the job.
Oh, wow.
Right? So they take my car and everything is just, I'm bankrupt. I don't have anything, but I get this opportunity because I always wanted to sell houses. So I get the opportunity, but one of the rules for the job is you have to have a car that's only 5 years old. So mind you, two things. One, I got to let everybody know that I have employed that I'm about to leave. And two, I got to find a car in about a week that's 5 years old, right after my car just got repoed. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm going through all this scenario. I shut the business down. I had $4,000 left. So I go to all of these car lots and nobody would give me the opportunity or nobody would give me a car. So right at like the last day, somebody was like, hey, you know what? Like, we'll give you a car, but you need $3,750. So I had $250. I was living in Omaha to get to Texas. So that was all the money that I had was in gas. So I drive there for this opportunity because I believed in it. And I believed that it was going to change my life and my family life. So I left, I packed up, I had everything I owned in my car. And I remember like being in front of all of these people that were already successful and already making money. And me, I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to eat and then come back at 8 o'clock and eat, because normally they serve food at the office, but I'm a vegetarian. They never had no options for me. So only times I could eat was at 5 and 8:30. But that's what I needed to do to get to my dream. And that's the thing. Only reason this thing worked out for me is because I believed in it and that it could change my family's life. And I had no other options. Either it was going to work or it's going to work. And I feel like a lot of people that I talk to today is they have too many options. They think about failing too much. There's always a plan B, a plan C. And the problem with that is that if you only have plan A is going to work. And the universe is going to work its way. Because again, the universe worked out for me. Because if that guy wouldn't have gave me a car, I wouldn't be here where I'm at right now. So it's about, for me, my philosophy has grown with just the universe. And the second thing is understanding the difference between being inspired, being motivated to do something and being inspired to do something. And there's a difference, because even with this job, I was motivated to get it because of the money and to help my family. But once I got that, it was a feeling of then what? You know what I mean? You got it. You was motivated to do that. But now I'm more inspired to do it just because I want to be a part of something great and being able to help the generation and change my family tree. So I'm more inspired to do it. So it's easier for me to wake up every morning and do my job, whether I got to work 12, 15, 16 hours. I'm happy to do it because I'm changing my family tree.
That's so good, Darrell. That's so good. And you've even mentioned to me that oftentimes we chase money as a means to success. And when you were flat broke, your motivation was to make money, to change the trajectory. So now that you have that, has your perspective even about money changed?
Yeah,
Or how
100%.
it?
Having money, it makes me comfortable in life, but also it makes me understand like that it's not real.
How
And
so?
when I say it's not real, it's that it comes and goes. And in this life, the older I get, the one thing I realize is real is love, memories, and time. The love you have for other people is real because when you love someone unconditionally, that that fulfillment never leaves. If there's people with millions of dollars that's not happy.
Mhm.
Time, you can't get it back. So you can't supply money for time because you can always get money. You're always going to have it, have it, lose it. But time you'll never get back. And the memories that you have with people, that's important because that's what you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. Whether me and you ever talk again, Becca, I'm always going to have these amazing memories and conversations that we had, no matter what. And I can live my life knowing that I had a good experience with you. And you learn that some things are seasonal, some people are seasonal, some people are forever. But when you have someone that's even seasonal, just enjoying those moments. So for me, it's just understanding what's real and what makes me happy. Because money doesn't make you happy, it just makes you comfortable.
Very true. It's very, very true.
And
And
everybody know that.
not everybody does know that because not everybody comes to the realization of that. I mean, I've done it too. In fact, this last year has been a huge lesson for me, especially my idea of money and now even pursuing it in a different way because
Right.
last year was the year where I didn't really make any money, especially working on the platforms that I was working on. And oftentimes, like people that are viewing people that are creating platforms online or even going out and hustling every single day to make dreams happen, oftentimes the manifestation of the physical resources don't show up right away. And
Right.
that has been one of my biggest lessons is that, you know, the pursuit of money is not what's going to make me happy. It's the pursuit of the fulfillment that you gain from pursuing your dreams, knowing that you're always going to be taken care of in the process, and that money really is just an energy resource that we can utilize to give back more, because at the end of the day we're here to give back, and this is what we're currently doing right now is giving back a lot of the wisdom and the knowledge that we've gained through the years and through our experiences, through our failures, because oftentimes we have to fall flat on our face multiple times for us to
100%.
even lesson, right?
100%.
So, how would you say that your upbringing and circle of influence has impacted the way that you think and live your life today?
Um, I think I've seen the other side. What I mean is that I'm right now I'm in a group of people that I just work with and like we hang out, but it's like I talk to them and they're just not connected to the real world. So what I mean is like my beliefs in growing up, I've seen people have everything and lose it in a moment. I've seen people have things and do things the illegal way and and have everything and everybody wanted to be with them to spending years in life in jail. So I've seen both sides of the spectrum, and how my upbringing helps me is I know every day that everything that I have can be gone in a second depending on life. You get what I mean? So for me, it's to live every day like it's my last, appreciate the people that's in my life, and leave a message for the young me's. Because me growing up, only way I knew to be successful growing up, and it's a lot of people in our community, is that you had to be an athlete, entertainer, work at a factory, or work for the railroad. So that's what I thought growing up. So what helps me now is that I know that there's a lot of people that live like that, that only think that. And that's the reason I came on your show, is because I want to let kids and everybody know that you do have an opportunity to be whatever you want, and you don't have to be what everybody wants you to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you as you get older, or not older, I like to say that I'm getting younger.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
As you become wiser and more sovereign in through your experience, you learn that everything really is a choice, and even your circle of influence. So, regardless of the upbringing that you had and the family that, because we don't have a choice oftentimes, or we think that we didn't have a choice coming into this physical realm that we live in. And so we often think that our family wasn't a choice, but I like to think of this more of a spiritual connection that we live
Right.
every single day, because we are spiritual beings living a human experience. And before we came into this human experience, we had a soul contract. And in that soul contract, we knew who our family members were going to be. We knew what experiences we were going to have. But as we're maneuvering through this human experience, we have an A and B choice. We have the red pill and the blue pill. And we get to choose every single day how we're going to react, and how we are going to interact with the people that are in our vicinity during the time that we're living it. Do you agree, or would you disagree with me?
I just watched The Matrix, so the red pill, blue pill is very relevant. And that's a fact. Talking Becca, talk that knowledge. I 100% agree. And you know what? Like, I kind of appreciate like the way like I grew up, and like and how it resonates like with my life today, because I remember being a kid. I know this is your next question, but I remember being a kid and like I just wanted to play basketball. I just wanted to be in the NBA. I thought I was gonna be like in the NBA, what all kids do, right? Even though I wasn't tall enough, I really wasn't that good. But in my brain, like I thought I was going. But the beauty of that is that when I was out there and kids were doing things that wasn't right, I chose to play basketball. And I had that mentality, even though people told me that I wasn't, that I couldn't, I still believed. And there are some kids that they want to do things in life, but because their parents, because their grandparents or someone that loves them hasn't done it, they tell them not to do it. And that's the problem. Yes, Lord.
It is. It totally is. And so as we get older again, or wiser, I need to get that word out of my vocabulary, because we don't get older. We really do become wiser through our experiences. But even then, recognizing that, and I just had this conversation with my mom yesterday about how, oftentimes, and I'm not a parent, and I know, Darrell, you're not either, but we have even gone through our experiences with our own family members, and our family members imposing their belief systems on us, and we do it. It's our human nature to project and to impose our own belief systems onto people. And I think it's really important, especially, having the experience that I've had with working with children, and even, belief systems constantly being imposed onto me. I realized that it's really important for us to speak our truth, and to, understand our own belief systems, and to be able to share them without imposing them, and using it as a way to guide versus like project and enforce our own personal belief systems onto people. And but that's also it creates a lot of awareness, especially as we continue to grow in our sovereignty, is that, whatever people are projecting or imposing onto us, it really has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with the person that's doing that. So every day is really a choice on the people that we surround ourselves with, whether we can't choose our family members in this present moment, but we can definitely choose to kind of separate ourselves from even what that person is telling us to do, or how they're telling us to live. We get to choose every day how we do that.
And another thing though is somebody told me this: never ask an electrician to do plumber work. What I mean is that a lot of times we tell our dreams to the wrong people. So if you make sure you tell your dreams and goals to people that's actually doing what you want to do, then you won't experience all the hardships and the failures and people telling you that you can't, because you're not talking to an electrician about plumber work. You're talking to a plumber. Just like if I wanted to get into podcasts, I would communicate with you because you're doing a wonderful job at it and you know what you're doing, like super professional. Like I gave my bio, he was like, hey, it got to be more like, you know what's going on. So why wouldn't I come to you if I wanted to get into it rather than my mom that never did a podcast in her life? Do you know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We're all learning in the process. In fact, there's been so many times, every single day I am self-correcting. Every single day is a new opportunity to learn something new, to create something new, to forgive yourself for what happened yesterday. Like literally, I am every single day writing stuff that I could do better, because we're all maneuvering through this human experience, and we're recognizing that things can change any second. I mean, it was very obvious last year. Nobody was expecting the COVID situation to happen. And, we all had to really learn how to adapt very quickly. And so it is really important to know that even if you are a person that is an expert, right, in your field, there's always an opportunity to learn something new, because I'm definitely learning something every single day. And I'm sure Darrell, you can agree or disagree if you want to.
No, 100%. Hey, remember when COVID? Remember me and you had a conversation when COVID first started, and we both was like, oh, it just seemed like a bad flu, right? Because we didn't know. We like, what? All you gotta do is just keep your immune up, and you'll be all right. We didn't know it was gonna be a pandemic, and then
No, it is very true. I mean, like, we are definitely a product of our environment. We are a product of the choices that we're making every single day. And every day is a new opportunity to make a better choice. So this is again another reason why we're having these conversations. So do you believe that your line of work infects our society with positivity?
oh yeah, 100%. Um, Giving first time home buyers a piece of wealth, give them a piece of their own land, and just seeing the enjoyment and seeing that kids are able to grow up in communities rather than apartments. Because I remember spending like half of my life in apartment and another half in a home. And some of the friends that I had in a home, I still know to this day. And being able to give someone or their kids that opportunity to have, neighbors that they're going to grow up with, and great schools, putting them in better predicaments is just wonderful.
Yes. Yes, and that's so good, because everybody. I have actually never owned a home, and I've lived majority of my life like a nomad. So owning a home was never really a priority to me, but I come across so many people that is like that's the dream. And Darrell, it's so awesome that you have the opportunity to really give that peace of mind, and even that opportunity for people who that is their biggest dream, is to have a home of their own with their own family. And
100%. And it's different, right? Because you like people like me and you, right? Like it's just us. So it's like it's important to own a home, but you're not walking around with 3 or 4 kids and a husband. You see what I mean? So and me neither. It's just me. So it's like when we're living life, because I never thought about owning a home either until I started this job, because it's like I'm here by myself. Like, well, I want a 3, 4 bedroom. You know what I mean? But
well,
to like
now I know a lot of single people that use these homes, or these first time
100%,
buying opportunities, to use them as an
100%.
investment. Airbnb, Airbnb opportunities, rental opportunities. I mean, there's so much that you can do with that. That was something that I never really thought about in the past until now, in my mid 30s, now looking at opportunities for me to create, different streams of income. So there's so much that you can do with what you do.
100%. I got a question for you, Beck. And remember, you're the queen of the universe.
All right.
So what is your big goal for Culture Society? Man, I follow you, and it's good to be a part of your path. Like, what's your your goal for your brand? I just always want to ask you that.
Well, so I'll make this very quick because this is really about you today.
I'm having a conversation
More
with
about
a good friend. I'm having a conversation with a good friend. That's it.
No, so it's interesting is because Cultured Society is been an evolution since the very beginning. In fact, it started in my apartment while I was living in Pilsen, Chicago. It's a neighborhood in Chicago called Pilsen, and it used to be majority Hispanic population that lived in that community.
Okay.
And when I moved there in 2012 or 2011, I was introduced to a community that was becoming very gentrified. And around the corner from where I lived, there was a big community of art galleries and studios that were up and coming. And they used to do collaborations with artists from all over the city. And I remember thinking, like, I wanted to have a place that we can do collaborations. I'm an art student. I actually went to art school. And so fashion and art, music have always been a huge part of my life. And so this is the thing about the evolution of a human, is that we never, even though we think that we stay the same, we're not supposed to. Change is happening every second of the day. And it really is important for us to adapt to that change that's happening on a second to second, it literally second to second experience. And so I never imagined that my idea of this lifestyle would turn into what it is today, because when it started as a collaborative effort for just art, music, and fashion, it really became a holistic idea of what life is all about. So holistic living is a mind, body, and spirit connection, but there's so many components to those pieces, because we are a community of people in this world that come from different walks of life, different philosophies, different ideas, and even different perspectives. Literally, like, we can be standing in the same room at the same time, be looking at the same piece of art, and having a completely different experience. And so through my own journey, I have healed my body, mind, body, and spirit, and I'm still going through that evolution. So my idea for Cultured Society was bringing a completely, like, mixed group of people together on one or multiple platforms, because this platform started off as just my social media, and then it became a blog, then a YouTube channel. And through the different pieces of my journey, I was able to bring people from all walks of life to talk about the different experiences that we're having at a holistic level. And, I found that there weren't very many platforms doing that, especially incorporating the importance of holistic well-being, not just, fueling your body to change yourself physically, because a lot of Fitspiration is about physical transformation, when in reality, it is a mind, body, and spirit connection. And through that, we're able to incorporate so many different things like music, art, fashion, all the things that can be more sustainable and teach us how to live better on a day-to-day basis. So does that answer your question? That was a little bit drawn out.
No, 100%. So yeah, I mean, you're looking to get people's opinions out that's more cultural. I can't but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're speaking to a lot of people, and you're letting everybody know that everybody's different. Just like you said, someone can see an art, 5 people can see the art, and 5 people can think something different about it. And the good thing is you're giving platforms to individuals like me that would never even have this platform. So I appreciate you 100%.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, this channel here, and you'll find it on my blog and on my Instagram, is I have a variety of things that bring holistic wellness together. So whether it's plant-based food, because I represent the vegan community,
Mm.
so plant-based food, music, wellness, rituals that you can incorporate on a day-to-day basis, and these conversations that are going to inspire you to level up on a day-to-day basis. So this is what you'll find on this community. So going back to the work that you do and even alignment and purpose, do you believe that the work that you do every day is aligned with your calling and higher purpose?
100%. Because like every day before I go to work, I look myself in the mirror and I say, does this make me happy? Does this fulfill me? And do I love it? And every morning I just tell myself yes. And that's what I truly believe. And the moment that I don't, I won't do it anymore. So yes, it gives me fulfillment, gives my family fulfillment. I believe it's a purpose in the world. I believe I help a lot of people get from point A to point B. And it's kind of what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to help people in certain ways. I mean, I wanted to play, of course, basketball and all those things. And I'm gonna tell you a story as far as purpose is that I remember when I got out of college, all I wanted to do when I found out I wasn't gonna go to the NBA, all I found out I wanted to do was work for the railroad. That was it. I just wanted to work for the railroad. And I don't want to work for the railroad because I wanted to be a railroader. I just, coming up, I thought you had to be an athlete, entertainer, work at a factory, or work for the railroad to make money. So my only option is I didn't want to work at a factory. I couldn't sing, dance, and I wasn't good enough to be an athlete. So I got one option. So I did everything. I mean, I applied everywhere to be a railroader. And I finally got the job, right? So I get the job and I hate it. When I say hate, like that's a like I hated it. And I remember like doing it and just hating it every day, hating going to work and feeling like I didn't fulfill my purpose, right? And I remember I was doing it and I crashed the train because like mentally I just wasn't engaged. And the funny thing is my name is Darrell, but at the job they call me Derail because I crashed the train. but but like, so I lost the job, right? And I hit rock bottom at that point as well, because at this point I moved in with my cousin Derek and we had an apartment together and I was just flat broke. And I found sales and that ended up being my purpose. But if I would have never followed my dream in my heart to even work for the railroad, to even just go for it to see if it works, I would have never found my purpose. So it's beautiful that it's important that people follow their dream, because even if you think something is your dream, it's all about the journey to getting there.
Yes, it is.
That makes it real. So for me, yes, because of the journey to get here. Yes, it's my purpose 100%. And I'm willing to go all out for the thing I'm believing.
That's so good. That's so good. And I'm glad that you said that, you've fallen on your face more than
100%.
once. I mean, that's a part of the success journey. And again, it's not really about, making millions and billions of dollars, although we all want to. We all
100%.
but why do we want to do that, right? Why do we want to do that? And you mentioned that um you appreciated and enjoyed serving people, and that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
100%. And it's about like, I remember um my grandma, God rest her soul, my grandma used to always talk about like what's she gonna do when she win the lottery. Once I win the lottery, I'm gonna get a house. Once I get a lottery, I'm gonna do all of these things. But then like as a kid, she said it so much, it just became like normal. Oh, okay, can't wait for grandma to hit the lottery. So she can do all of these things, right? But like the thing about it is that the only way she felt like she can really live her dreams in life is a 1 in billion chance And where does that come from? Somebody telling her that she can. And I remember I was listening to Les Brown. He was telling this story about these two kids, right? They were playing on the ice. They were playing on the ice, these two kids. They had the day off from school. They're playing on the ice. One kid falls through the ice, right? So the other kid is like, wanting to save him. So he's like, I got to save my friend. I got to save my friend, right? So he sees a tree. He runs to the tree. He tears down this big branch off the tree. He runs all the way back about what did he say? A couple of blocks to take this branch, to put it down in the water to save his friend, right? Pulls his friend right before he's about to die, right before he's about to take his last breath. His friend grabs the branch and he takes him out, right? So the police, the ambulance, everybody comes and they're asking this kid, like, hey, like, how did you, for one, run that far? You know what I mean? Two, take down a branch and then run that branch back before this guy dies. Like, how did you do it? And then like some older guy walked up and said, the reason he did it is because there was nobody to tell him he couldn't. So the thing about it is all of these people, and like my grandma growing up, it was people telling her that she couldn't. And she believed it. And she believed that the only way for her to get her dreams in life was a 1 in a billion chance. And that's the beauty about platforms like this, that we can tell the younger generation that that's not true, that you don't have to hit the lottery. You don't have to be LeBron James or any of these people to be successful. You can be yourself and you can find something in your passion and you can do it being a normal everyday person. And that's the beauty about this society, is that we're able to touch more people through platforms like this.
Yes, it's so true. And you know what? We all think that if we win the lottery, that we'll be much happier or we'll be able to do so much. What I've learned through my journey is that when I did things for the money and I was trying to wait to do things when I had more money, is when I tend to feel a lot more unfulfilled, and I held myself back a lot. And through the last like 3 years, I've actually managed to do so much more with less resources.
So
I've I've purged out my life and I've reprioritized what was important to me. And although money is really important because it's what makes the world go round, we don't need a lot of it. It's really what we do with the resources that we have to be able to make our dreams a reality. And it's a 1% shift every single day that you can do to make those dreams a reality over the course of your life. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It really is just being able to wake up every single day with breath and feeling fulfilled that you're one awake, and that you get to go to a job or do something that really brings more fulfillment and it's more sustainable every single day. You're not stressed out beyond belief. You're not, just feeling like you could be somewhere else, when in reality, like, just being in this moment right here is a gift in itself.
100%, man, because I've been on Stressing Me Street before. And one thing I never seen a U-Haul on the back of a hearse. You can't take none of it with you. So it ain't about what you got, it's about what you do with what you got, 100%.
Absolutely. Now, how do you stay relevant, unique, and true to who you are as a person? And before you answer that question, I have been using the word relevant because oftentimes we think that we need to be relevant to other people, but in reality, the relevance that I always encourage, or I'm challenging you to see, is the relevance that you see within yourself, because that's at the end of the day the most important. So go ahead.
Glad you said that. It's gonna be very simple. When your work is good, you can be yourself. There's a lot of people in corporate America that have to act like they're somebody else or feel like they do. And it's because their work doesn't justify. So when your work justifies and you out here putting in the work, you can be yourself and stay relevant, because there's a lot of people out here that are not themselves. And that's why they don't stay relevant, because you're trying to be somebody. and it costs to be somebody else. So for me, it's like I stay relevant because I get to be myself every day. I don't have to go and act like anybody else. I don't have to do things that other people like to do. I live a life where I get to be myself every day. So when you're being yourself, you don't have to worry about staying relevant, because how can you be unrelevant with yourself?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Yes, Lord. Lord, yes. That's a fact.
that's really good. I really appreciate that response. What practices do you implement to stay grounded and divinely connected to self and your creator?
Prayer every day, and not forgetting the people that was there for me when I didn't have anything. So staying connected to my family and waking up every day, being a better brother, being a better son, being a better grandson, and just focusing on the people that's there or were there for me when I didn't have anything. You know what I mean? And that helps me stay grounded because I remember where I came from. And I'll never get too big where I dismiss the average Joe, the average person. Never in my life. I'm always connected with those people that was there for me when I didn't have nothing. So it's easy for me to stay grounded because I know what the bottom feels like. And another thing is that I know that when people get too cocky and too prideful, they lose it all. Did you know I seen a study that Americans, 63% of Americans will die broke? You're like, that's crazy to think. And why is that? People are too prideful. People don't believe in what they do. And people do everything that everybody else does. So for me, the way I stay grounded is connect with the people that were there for me when I didn't have anything, believing in myself, being able to self-serve, meaning that when I'm not doing right, being able to assess and say, you know what, I got to do better, and battling to the end and not quitting. That's how I stay relevant.
That's really good and grounded, relevant and grounded.
100%.
That's so important. And again, um, we put, and I do it too. It's so interesting is because this has been a really grounding and humbling humbling experience, to say the least, this past year. My father engraved in my brain, from a very young age, and I lost it for a very long time, is that wealth doesn't come from the amount of money that you have in the bank or being broke. It really is about how you think, how you feel, how you live out your life every single day. And that knowing that what you have currently, and there's nothing wrong with wanting more, because I definitely always aspired to have more, but now it's for different reasons than what it was before. Because before it was about having more of the physical reality, right? Like more clothes, more shoes, more just physical possessions, right? But for me, like after being in the fashion industry for such a long time, my perspective really shifted on that, and more so giving back to the community, like doing mission work, teaching people that there is so much more that we can be doing, but it's not necessarily to have more physical possessions. It more so is about the inner fulfillment, because there's people, like you mentioned earlier, that have so much money yet they're so unhappy and so unfulfilled.
Right. And the beauty, like, what helps me out too whenever I have conversations with you, and like you tell me about your father and how he just like he lives life so simple, but he like it's what he loves. He wakes up every day, he's excited. You know what I mean? Basic phone, basic life, but he loves his life. And like you said, that man is wealthy. You get what I mean? So it's just beautiful, man, to hear that. You get what I mean? And you like your energy, man, like it's wealth. The relationships you have are wealth with individuals. Like even the connection that me and you have, man. Like when I need somebody to talk to, you're one of them for sure. And like we have deep conversations, we talk, and it's just beautiful. So I'm with you 100%.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And again, it's almost like you're like every single day you're uncovering and it's like pulling back the layers, right? Because I like to say that humans are like human onions. we We're like human onions. We have so much depth within us. And oftentimes we see people as very one dimensional, but we're far beyond that. We're multidimensional human beings with so many layers. And oftentimes we don't even allow ourselves to go through the process of peeling back those layers because we don't want to see what's there. And so
Hey,
we end up living our lives very surface.
hey,
Are we
I like that, and now that's real. Peeling it back one layer at a time. That's life. Shit might make you cry a couple times in the process.
I'm gonna tell you that I have had so many like tear sessions. I had one with Darrell a couple weeks ago talking about
100%. That's
like
part of that.
death.
That's
I
that
mean,
onion. That's that onion you told me. Maybe be on me, peeling it back, make you cry a couple times. That was
back
deep.
one layer at a time, seriously. And even like I'm sure Darrell, you have gone through some major growth and evolutionary like seasons, especially over the last 5 years.
100%, man. That's a fact.
It's a never ending evolution. It's
That's
actually
a fact.
a lot of there's a lot of pain points in the process, but yet it's such a beautiful evolution to experience because you don't want to stay the same. It's actually more painful to stay the same oftentimes than it is to grow.
100%, man. And what else can you like? I always think of it like this, right? The pain is necessary because how can you show the universe is something that you really want? How? Without going through some options. Even if you look at, you know, Jesus went through all of these things. He got beat. He went through all of these things to do what's right. So who are we not to expect to go through something to get our dreams and what we going through? Who are we? And how do you know? How can the universe let you know that it's something you really want? What if the universe give it to you and the moment something happens, you quit? So you gotta go through something because the grind is what makes this shit real.
And it's not easy. I mean,
Uh,
oftentimes people don't talk about the struggles that they have to get to the places that they're at. I mean, Darrell, has lost everything. I've definitely, well, I lived like a nomad for majority of like my adult years. So it was really by choice that I ended up letting a lot of things go. But let me tell you that I got into myself into so much consumer debt. Like I sold everything last year and I ended up
remember,
moving back to my hometown to be with my parents that are now in their late 60s and 70s. And these were all choices that I made in order for me to be able to proceed in what I was being asked to do to fulfill a bigger purpose that was even bigger than my understanding. And it's been painful. It's been a very painful process and also very liberating at the same time because recognizing that you really don't need much to be happy and that
100%.
you can lose everything in the blink of an eye, right? I mean, you could lose people that you thought were going to be a part of your life in the blink of an eye, and that it's so important that every second of the day to appreciate what it is that you have moment by moment, second by second, and that what happened yesterday is no longer alive.
100%. What do you say? Your dreams don't care about what happened yesterday. 100%.
No, it's all about forward movement. So what words of wisdom would you give to those seeking a deeper understanding of themselves, Darrell?
Um, Belief, no excuses, and don't nobody owe you anything. And the only person that's gonna make your dreams happen is you. And if you follow those 3 steps, you will be successful because people are too busy waiting on somebody else to manifest their goals and their dreams. The people that wait do get things, but they only get the leftovers from people that go out there and get it. period. So if you want something, go get it. And there's going to be ups and downs, but that's what makes your goals and your dreams real.
I need a silent moment for that.
Yeah, Lord.
Nobody owes you anything. That is literally like the statement of the century. And, it's so interesting because personal responsibility is so important. And then also recognizing that nobody's going to believe in you as much as you believe in yourself.
100%.
And so that's a personal responsibility that we have every single day, to wake up and recognize, if I don't fulfill my dream and my vision, it's not going to happen.
100%. And what's your alternative? It's either you're going to live your dreams or you're going to live your nightmares. So you might as well go after your dreams, because when I was running a business, I used to interview people every day, right? Like every day. And it was every day somebody would come in and tell me that they worked at a job for 25, 26 years and all of a sudden got laid off. So what I'm saying is, with that being said, you might as well do what you love to do. You get what I mean? Because this job that people are holding on that you don't, because remember, 85% of people go to a job that they don't like. So you go into a job that you work for, you go into a job that you don't like for 20 something years, and they can walk in and say, we don't need your services no more. Why would you not do something that you love to do? It only makes sense, but it's harder and it takes more, and it's going to be ups and there's going to be more downs. But again, that's what makes it real.
Yes. Wow, this was a really amazing conversation, and especially because, Darrell comes from a place of experiencing a lot of loss and a lot of transitions, a lot of movement, and a lot of just self-seeking in order for him to really understand and fulfill his divine purpose. And it's not over. At 34 years old, you know, being a young Black man in America, I'm going to point that out. I'm going to point that out.
Yes,
You know,
Lord.
and also not taking that even as an excuse to stay in that place that he was 3 years ago, using that as motivation and inspiration to continue to move forward, and to know that he, myself, and the person who's watching, you have the ability to recreate that story regardless of what your history looks like, whether it's generationally, ancestrally, so like in our society, if everybody's living that way, you don't have to. That doesn't have to be your life. You can literally create your life as you go and tell a different story.
100%. If I had a bell right now, I'll ring it. You speaking that knowledge. Yes, Lord. Lord, yes. Talk to me.
Do you have any finishing statements before we end this segment today, Darrell?
Yeah, no, I just appreciate the opportunity, man. And I appreciate you and our relationship, and I appreciate, what you're doing for people and your goal and your brand. I'm one of your biggest fans. So I just support you, man, 100%, and believe in what you're doing.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me.
100%.
That definitely means a
Hey,
lot. I really
Becca,
appreciate
Becca, how long you been knowing me? I ain't never lied to you. Yes, Lord.
Yeah, Darrell's a very honest person. I appreciate that. So thank you so
Naples.
much for taking the time to join us today on this conversation. Continue to come back. It's interesting. So in the month of February, I was only supposed to do this series for the month of February, and I ended up conducting 20 interviews, which was a lot of content to put out in a month, because I know that it was a lot for people to grasp and even to tune into right away, because there's so much noise happening every single day. But the reason why I did it this way was because the month of February is known for the month of love, and it was also Black History Month. But I really wanted to highlight not only Black History Month, but also Cultural History Month, because all of us go through, I myself know in my culture and also in other people's cultures that I've had the opportunity to tune into, is that we've all come from lots of seasons of oppression. And whether we like to recognize that that is a part of our society as a whole, it really is. And I wanted to highlight people from various cultures, not just people in the Black culture, because it's so important for us to recognize that regardless of what culture we come from, what society we live in, that we all have the ability to change our narrative. And every single person that has come onto this platform has and is changing the narrative every single day. So I was inspired to continue having these conversations moving forward as an ongoing series. I won't be bringing you as many conversations on the MM month because it was very draining for me also to continue to exchange that energy. Darrell's like, Oprah doesn't even do 20 interviews.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you was on towards the end. You was on stressing me street.
Oh, I was definitely on stressing me street for sure. So again, I'm learning some very valuable lessons as I go and as I continue to build this platform and to bring you valuable content that is going to benefit you on a day-to-day basis, because these conversations are really important. We're not having them enough. And if you are just now tuning in, definitely take the time to go through the people that have been on this platform so far, because they've all been such inspiring conversations. They've been healing conversations for myself as well. And again, I'm right here with you, learning, growing, evolving, and bringing you content that is not only relevant for myself, but is also going to be relevant for this society that is continuously growing. So thank you so much again for joining us and tuning into these conversations. Continue to please support this channel by sharing, liking, subscribing. Your support is truly valued and appreciated. I'm sending you so much love and light today. Blessings.